Hello, I am a real catfish, and today we are now on episode 3 of building Mount Olympus in Minecraft. In the last episode, I showed you guys how to use structure blocks, commands, and how to build more simple versions of these pillars. Now, between videos, I've done a slight edit because I realised the pillars were too small because I want it to look good from here. As you can see, you can still see them, and in the last video or between videos I locked down and I just said nope, I can't see them, that's not good enough. So I made it taller just so it better fit with the image I had in my head of what this build was going to look like. Between episodes as well, I've done a tiny bit of work with the palace, but this series obviously isn't about the palace, but I may as well give you updates about what I've been up to. So I have been using reference images. And first of all, I have decided I'm going to build two statues here. So this is going to be a big scary statue. It probably might be as tall as this-ish. And then on top of these four emplacements, I'm thinking about making a big futuristic gun, similar to as if it was a Star Wars themed build. Which, as I say, I want this to be a mixture of both really futuristic and really ancient looking builds. So it both looks like it's from the past and the future. So for example, there'd be a gigantic gun there, on that corner, maybe on the other corner and on the other corner, and then maybe have some smaller emplacements like on these bits, but we will see how that goes. And then the final part, which I will show you, so in every single image, which I somehow didn't do back in the past, it had all of that build and then it came across to two things like this. And so what I've decided to do is basically start building those two extra bits for the palace. So the way in, it's not done, but you come into this part here and then you go through here, and I just thought, let's give it a go. Let's keep it in the same style as if I'm building that. And so far I would say it's coming out pretty nicely. I'm quite happy with how it's come out so far. So that is the update on the palace. Stairs, wonderful stairs. I'm just trying to find different ways to give it more detail because I don't want it to just go from all this detail I've got here to then that. I dislike how it goes from that to that. I'd rather have it be a bit more interconnected, so that's why I'm happy with how the top bit's going so far. And why, for example, I'm thinking about adding things like big guns to those random emplacement bits. But that's not today's video. Today's video is Mount Olympus. So, what I'm planning to do is add a roof bit to this area. So, I'm gonna quickly come up here and we're gonna make just a nice detailed pattern for the roof. Or fairly detailed. I can't guarantee it's gonna be super duper detailed. Ooh, that's interesting. I've made that slightly... that's fine. That actually fits nicely with what we're after. So, we're going to bring this back a couple of blocks. And what I'm thinking is basically the roof will come up and I'm just going to put a general idea down first. So it comes up. So once again, as I say in the last video, I'm using reference images for this. So the outline here is going to be all sand. So let's just get that going all the way across like this. So as I say, I want this area inside where people are walking to be just something people can look up at and go, wow, that's pretty, and stuff like that. Or, wow, that's very artistic and stuff like that, because it just feels like it's what would be best for the style. And from the reference image, it does look as though they do have that kind of effect with what is going on. Yeah, that's fine. So, I am going to make this 2 blocks high. Yeah, I'll make it 2 blocks high. Or what I could do is, I could have it so it's like this, and then it has that as a kind of colour swap between, so it doesn't have that effect with it being too much sandstone. Yes, and you know what? I'm actually going to do a tiny bit of video editing and just get past this, just so you don't have to watch me filling this all in. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I've filled in like I was hoping to do. I've got this effect where it's got the cut sandstone, red sandstone, and then the cut sandstone, and I've built it so it comes in by one. This is because the next thing we're going to do is one. Right, I'm going to swap these over because that's way too big difference, and let's get some. Swap these over, then get these out of my way. So, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. I'm gonna stop counting before it becomes painful. Ah, look at that, it fits. That is more luck than I was ever hoping for with this build, I'll be honest. Right, let's see if that will continue to be the way this goes. I doubt it, but you know how it is. It should hopefully work. If it doesn't, we'll try and fit something in. In a different stream of thoughts, I am thinking of the idea of playing a few other games. I know I want to play the new LEGO Star Wars when it comes out, just because I think, well, I've always loved the LEGO games, and LEGO Star Wars has always been one of those games that just always sticks out as being a really fun game from my childhood. I had it on my DS, and also on my PlayStation 2. Ah, damn. Right, where is the middle point? It is this bit here. Ready, ho? There's two ways this can go. I can either have it so it comes all the way across, or it stops 1/3 back. Oh. So it can either stop here like this, and then have the one in the middle, which doesn't look terrible. Hold on a minute. No, that doesn't look terrible at all. Thing is, from obviously, if you're all the way down here, these small details you won't notice, but I want it so it looks good from every angle. And so the problem is, if I leave it like that, it might fester in my mind. Or I can bring it across, but then that feels like it's too wide of a space, unless I then have one in the middle, making it 3 in the middle. That, I would say, works for what I'm after. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm gonna stop talking again and go back into my speed building mode. So I'm gonna get a move on and just get this done, and then I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Okay, so we've done that bit. I made it 3 tall because once again, I don't want to make it too small and then have it forgotten about. And I know it sounds, once again, it's a silly thing, it's a small thing, but small things like that are the things that make a big build look nice. You know, when you look at that, if I'd left it properly squarey and I had it all the same shape, and there's lots of things I can look at now and just go, oh yeah, I could probably change that, I could probably change that. I could probably add more detail, I could probably add more colour, like this red terracotta colour. There's a whole bunch of things I could do, and it's that build over there, for example, is how I am starting to incorporate that. Up on the roof, for example, it's small little details, like those little tiny bits of sandstone, which aren't massively noticeable. They're not the first thing to draw your eye, but they're things like that that keep the eye of the person looking at what you're building, or what it is you've got. And so, as you can see, already, the colours, the shape, it just draws the eye towards what it is. And that's why, for example, off screen I built these pillars higher. Now as you can see, they are still the same shape, they're still the same general size, but they're taller. And other things I've done, for example, is I've made it so these bits that are slightly inward are not at person height. So if you were to look at this, you'd have to look up slightly to see it, as you do with the rest of the pillar. But you wouldn't be able to just see it here, which was what I wanted it to not do. So we're going to go back up, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm then going to add more of this outward going smooth cut sandstone. So it's going to come all the way across, and this just adds another layered shadow effect towards it. So the next big thing we're going to be doing after this video is adding a roof type thing. So this is just the ceiling slash underside of the building, whereas the next video I'm hoping to actually build the starting, at the very least, of the proper roof. I'm going to make sure to record everything I do, hopefully. As I say, I should have stuck with what I was saying and recorded what I was going to do with the actual pillars and make them taller. Just because I would like to try and incorporate later on a finished time-lapse type video where I just go through, there's no talking, just some relaxing music, and you just get to basically watch me do this all in quicker speed, and that would be quite cool, I think, just as a general video. Don't know how long it will be, hopefully not too long, but I want it so that basically you get to go from watching me starting off with a piece of dirt, looking over at the palace, and then coming back and later on finding it done. So I'm going to try and find some nice music. It's probably going to have to be copyright free, but I'm more than willing to try and make some music because I want to give making music a go because it sounds like it's quite fun. But at the minute, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of whoever's watching. Probably just me and my family at the minute, but hey ho. It's the thought that counts. I'll keep going and keep making stuff, and as I say, I really am enjoying what I'm doing, and a big part of this does help me to actually get those abilities to talk, which I need to have for my future presentation skills, which is always helpful. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to leave that alone for now because, as I say, I want it to go into a roof at some point, and I really cannot be bothered to try and do that yet. I'm going to put this here as a reminder that that's the middle. I'm going to make it a tiny bit taller. But if you can catch it in your head, it's going to be a big triangle going up and over, but it's not going to be just a direct up and over. I want it to be slightly more... it's probably going to be a tiny bit of this and a tiny bit of that, you know? It's going to be a tiny bit up, tiny bit up. So quite up, but not too up. And I probably sound stupid when I'm talking like that, but hey ho, I'm having a laugh. I'm talking happily. Right, so this is going to come back to the quote-unquote wall we're going to have at the back here. I'm going to make it come out all the way so it's in front of here. Yep. So then this is going to be the first layer in from that outer sandstone look. I'm going to have it come all the way around. Because there's just small things I can do to make this build time a tiny bit lower, like not have to fill in those top bits over where the pillars are, using the cut slash paste commands type thing, or fill slash not fill kind of thing. And this is all going to be sandstone, and then this I'm going to make a single line of red sandstone. So as I say, this is going to all be basically, it's a simple pattern. I'm not going to make it too difficult because I hope people will look up at this build as they walk in, but it's not something that absolutely is necessary for coming in and looking at. But it's just something that's just nice and added to actually give it a tiny bit more feeling of flow. Right, so let's have it, so this, first of all, this all comes across anyway, so let's get this across. So here is the scene. This I'm just going to copy and slash fill command is what I'm going to do here, just because I'm thinking to myself there's no point in me doing an entire video of just filling it. See, this is a big thing, as I say, that I was saying in the last video about Minecraft, is in the old version I used to, so this palace build, it's built the way it is because I didn't have commands to make my life easier. I had to base all of that by hand, and the very first time I tried to build it, it actually was painful. And it was only when I transferred the world across that I could actually finish it because I had the slash paste command. I say transferred the world across, it was originally, this world was started on the Xbox One. At some point I will do a bit of a showcase of some of the stuff on this world, but I want to kind of actually with this world finish some of the builds before I show them because there's quite a few that are a bit meh and a bit undone. Um, there is a started and stopped city type build, which it's not a bad city, but it's unfinished, and there's a lot of things that just aren't up to what I would hope they would be at. And then there's, as I said, there's the Hoth map, which is not done because it's barely started. There is an Endor map, which it needs to have some changes because there is a lot of good things, and there's a few things on all of those maps that I can happily transfer across. So for example, I want to do a couple of skyscraper tutorial type things, and there's a few buildings that I would happily transfer to this area as a kind of general rule of thumb, purely because they look good. But I would have it in a different, slightly different style. So for example, I might do the /fill command and then replace certain blocks. But there's also certain builds that just don't fit at all. And those builds need to kind of disappear a tiny bit in the nicest way possible. But also, they don't need to disappear kind of thing. They just need to not be so in the way. Not be so viewable, noticeable, that kind of thing. Right, so what I'm thinking now is this was technically 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the landing platform in my Endor map, I might transfer a few of those across because I actually really like how they've come out. Although once again, what I might do is just edit them so they basically become part of a building. So you have a landing platform where obviously stuff lands, but it's connected to something, you know, and it's once again adding that ultra futuristic to the ultra past kind of thing. So what I'm thinking of doing here is having this 5 cross. So this is 4. Ah, but it's because of that thing. That's why. Right, I'm going to make it 5. Except for this one where it will remain 4. Right, let's have this come across. So then, oh, yep. So that's like that, and then this comes across. Ah, that's where it was wrong. So, needs to be 5, just like that. And then I'm going to quickly fill this in, just get an idea. The nice thing about a big project like this is it takes a time to get it done, but once it's done, it just looks as massive as it is. And once again, it's those small details when you're doing a big build like this that make all the difference and make all the matter that counts. So for example, you know, as if you're following along trying to build it while I'm building, a big thing that you can do, for example, is obviously make it your own. And that's a big thing I've always advocated for. On my Instagram, I have multiple builds which I have said, if you're going to build it, go ahead. You know, don't get me wrong, I'd love it if you were to say, oh yeah, I was inspired by a real catfish. And, you know, say, oh yeah, you know, that catfish guy, he's a cool guy. But I also want you to build it. I want you to have a go. I want you to look at your world and go, what can I add to make it cooler? And just have those little things in your head that just go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should use that or something like that. You know, that's a big thing about Minecraft is, and very much the same with Lego, is it's not just about following the instructions and getting stuff done. It's about giving it a go and seeing what works in your opinion with what. So for example, you might look at the pattern I'm making right now and think, in your personal build, you might not want that. You know, I might be doing something you think is horribly wrong. And if you think that, brilliant. Build something different. You know? Make it your own. It deserves to have the attention of, you know, you deciding if you like a build or not. And that's a big part of what this game is to me, is taking something, changing it, and thinking to yourself, okay, is this better? If the answer is yes, brilliant. If it's not, oh well, try something different. Then going to bring this back. I don't want to sound too preachy. This comes all the way back here, and then I'm thinking that this then, where is the middle point? Is this the middle point? Let's see. So there's 4 and 3, and then 3 and 3. Of course there's no middle point. Why would there be a middle point? Okay, we'll make it 2. So 4 and 4, and this will come across. This will come across. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is an old command which it doesn't always seem to work. If it doesn't work, then I will just try and cut this part out of the video and just have it so it's actually built. But I'll give it a go and I'll talk as though I am doing it, because if this part is in the video, it means it's worked. So, right, so the positions are 2, 8, 8, 6, 71, minus 76, and I'm going to quickly run across to the other side. As you can see, I'm in. Right, and then it's 2, 9, 2, 3, 71, minus 27. Right, so let's see. I'm going to come out, slash, fill. So this is a little command that if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, at least you tried. Right, so fill, and then fill in the details. So 2, 8, 8, 6, 71, and it's minus. Now last time I made a big mistake by forgetting the minus. We're not going to do that twice in a row. 76, and then 293, 2923, 71, and then minus 27, and then sandstone, because we want to have it normal sandstone, but then we want to have 2, and then replace. Now the replace function, which has worked, brilliant. I just want it to replace the air. So replace, bablam. So I'm really glad that worked, because sometimes it doesn't work and it is the most painful thing in the world. However, as you can see, we now have in our little roof area. So I need to try and find out a way to make it so that the space above is brighter. Because there's only so many lanterns and fireplaces I can put without it looking a bit meh. I'll place the fireplaces and lanterns anyway, just to give it an idea and try and give it a tiny bit of light. But as I say, it's a bit tricky, because I think that's the big thing the RTX on Minecraft on the PC does have, is it has them functions with like the shading and stuff like that. And it's just like, if I look from in here, everything out there looks dark, and that's not really how obviously real life is, you know? There's nothing there, and also bats. I might turn off mob spawning again, because I originally had it on as a bit of polite thing, just because it was nice to have the animals spawning so it wasn't so quiet in the world, but I can't have bats getting in the way of my building. But for the minute, I would say I am in a good spot with how this has gone. So I think I will pause it, and we will pick up next time on building Mount Olympus in Minecraft. We have a new ceiling design. Next video we're going to do a roof type thing, because as I say, in the reference image I've got, it's got a roof, and then it goes back behind here to a large dome type thing, which I think is going to be the most interesting part of the build, because I don't know how to build one of those. Yeah, but I'm going to quickly fill in this tiny bit, and I think in the next video when you come back, this back wall will be filled in, just because I can't really be bothered to try and do that on video. I think that's just a waste of your time and a waste of my time, but you will see the final finished result anyway. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and please give the video a like, a subscribe, share it with your friends, you know, all the stuff that you need to do on YouTube to kind of make it so you can actually see the channel. I've got a lot of new people being able to view the videos and stuff, so if you could think about actually giving the video, you know, a subscription to the channel, that kind of thing, that'd be pretty nice. If not, fair enough, you know, there's only so much I can do. But yeah, so thank you very much, and goodbye.